The medicine wheel in its very basic process is only a tool, and it's a very powerful tool for us to be able to use in our journey of healing. The medicine wheel comes in 4 different quadrants. Just like a compass, there's 4 directions to it. The first direction is the east direction, and the east direction is represented by the color yellow. And for us as Native people here in the Mi'kmaq people and Maliseet people here in the eastern part of Canada, we're people from the east here, so everything for us, all of our ceremonies and everything that we do begins in the east direction. And then we move forward, and the next direction that we have there is the south direction. And the south direction is represented by the color blue or black. We usually use blue, but we only use black in death ceremonies or for people who are in mourning and grieving losses. After we finish the south direction, we move forward to the west direction. The west direction is represented by the color red, and then onward to the north. And the north direction is represented by the color white. 4 directions, like I said, it's just like a compass. And each one of these directions has a very distinct color to it. It represents all the colors of man that exist in the world today. And the east direction is represented, for example, the color yellow is representative of the Oriental race. And the Oriental race was given a very beautiful gift in regards to that. And the gift that they were given was the gift of air to take care of. And in the south direction, which is usually blue, but when we use black, it's representative of the colored race. And this race of man was also given a very beautiful gift to take care of in this direction, and that was for them to take care of water, the sacred gift of water. And then we move onward to the west direction, which is represented by the color red, and is also representative of the native race. And the native people were also given a very beautiful gift to take care of, and they were given the gift of Mother Earth to take care of. And then we move onward to the north direction, which is represented by the color white. And the non-native or the non-colored race was also given a very beautiful gift to take care of in that direction. And their gift to be taken care of was the gift of fire to take care of. So each one of these colors and races represents a very beautiful gift and a very beautiful race of man. Each of the directions that we have just spoken about also has a very important kind of like a spirit animal that's associated with that, or we could call them keepers, gateway keepers. But basically what they are their spirit animals. Like, for example, in the east direction, we have the eagle spirit who takes care of that doorway for us. It's kind of like a doorway to the spirit world. And so the eagle spirit becomes the carrier of our prayers and stuff through this door. And in the south direction, we have a very sacred animal called the thunderbird spirit, who's the gateway keeper in that direction. And in the west direction, we have the bear spirit, who is the gateway keeper for the west direction. And then we move onward to the north direction, and we have the white spirits and the white buffalo. That's the gateway keeper for that direction. This is where all of our prayers go through in these 4 directions, and those are the ones that carry our prayers. In the medicine wheel, there's 4 quadrants, and the 4 quadrants really identify a very big part of who we are. In the east direction, for example, we have the physical quadrant, and that's what makes our body who we are, like our physical self. And then we move on to the south direction. In the south direction, we have the mental quadrant, and that's our ability to think and to do a thought process. And in the west direction, we have a very beautiful entity called emotional self, and that's our ability to be able to feel. And in the north direction, we have a very beautiful entity over there, and that's a very big part of who we are, and that's the spiritual self, and that's our ability to believe. And all of these 4 quadrants are very, very important within the medicine wheel because they all represent our psalms. And as we all know, in the middle of all of this medicine wheel is the amazing gift of self. And the very basic part of the medicine wheel, it's the foundation of what we call the 4 basic principles. The very first basic principle in the east direction is what we would call respect. In order for us to be able to have respect for other people, we first and foremost have to have a high degree of respect for ourselves. The next basic principle that we have is honesty, and that's in the south direction. Before we can be honest with other people, we first and foremost have to be able to be honest with ourselves. And in the west direction, we move forward, and then we have the amazing basic principle of trust. Trust is really, really difficult basic principle for a lot of us, only because of the many betrayals of trust that we've gone through in our lives. There's a really good possibility that we will never be able to get our full unconditional trust back again because of the fact that we'll always have a knowing. But within these basic principles, we first and foremost have to have some level of trust for ourselves. And then we move northward, and the very principle that lies there is what we call love. And we have to have unconditional love for self before we can love somebody else. And so these 4 basic principles are very, very important, and it's very, very important for us to realize. So these 4 basic principles basically guide everything inward, and as we move forward on our journey of healing, we can then begin the process of moving these outwards to other people. And first and foremost, it would probably be to our families and our loved ones, who will be the first ones that will benefit from our journey of healing.